There are stairs that are made to help you reach the top, and there are also stairs where every step tests if you will keep going. For others, it's just a simple climb, but in the places we'll see today, the view comes at a different level of challenge. Steep, narrow, and sometimes, with just one wrong step, a cliff is what follows. From the side of the mountain to rocks that stand almost straight up, there are stairs that are not only physically exhausting, but also mentally draining. And as you go higher and higher, you start to feel smaller. Before we start, please like and subscribe to this video. This means a lot to us content creators. Thank you. And now let's get started. Number 10, El Peñon de Guatape, Colombia. Even before you take the first step, you can already see why this place is famous. In the Antioquia region of Colombia, there's a massive granite monolith that suddenly rises in the middle of the landscape, almost as if it doesn't belong there. It rises almost 200 meters above its surroundings. The rock is smooth, with nearly straight sides, and at first glance it looks almost impossible to climb. But in a natural crack on its side, that's where one of the most famous staircases in South America was built. According to tourism records in Colombia, you need to climb more than 740 steps to reach the summit. The staircase is wedged right into the crack of the rock. The materials are concrete and brick, but because of its design, it looks like it's just clinging to the side of the mountain. From below, it just looks like a thin line going up, but as you climb, that's when you really feel how high it is. The climb is long, each section is steep, and as the direction of the stairs keeps changing, the view behind you gradually widens. At the top, that's where you'll find the reason why thousands of visitors come here every year. You can see the Guatape Reservoir. The reservoir from above is a vast body of water filled with small islands and peninsulas that look like scattered pieces of a map. It's peaceful, vast, and incredibly beautiful. But to get there, you have to climb more than 700 steps with no shortcuts. And, according to those who've climbed it, if going up is hard, going down is even tougher on the knees. Number 9, Chandbauri, Rajasthan, India. Not all scary stairs go up, some go deep down. In the village of Abhaneri in Rajasthan, India, you'll find Chandbauri, a very deep stepwell that at first glance already looks like an optical illusion. From above, it just looks like a geometric pattern, but when you look further down, that's when you'll realize how deep it really is. According to historical records in India, Chandbauri was built around the 9th century as a water storage system for a region often hit by extreme heat and drought. But it's not just an ordinary water reservoir. It's also an engineering masterpiece. There are about 3,500 steps arranged on 3 sides of the well, perfectly facing each other, perfectly repetitive, and as you go lower and lower, the whole structure seems to sink deeper underground. It's more than 100 feet deep, and because of its design, the temperature below is cooler compared to the surface. People in the past used it as a resting place, especially during hot summers. But if there's one thing you'll immediately notice here, it's how narrow and steep each step is. The descent is sharp, and there's almost no margin for error. No railings, no modern safety barriers, just stone, the stairs, and one long straight path going down. So even though it's technically possible to walk on some parts, access to the actual steps is usually limited or discouraged for the safety of visitors and to protect the ancient structure. And there's a reason for that, because if you make a wrong step at the top, it's not water you'll fall into first, but stone. Even today, Chandbauri is one of the most photographed step wells in India. It has even appeared in films and travel documentaries because of its unique design that looks almost impossible. Beautiful, quiet, and mathematically mesmerizing. But the longer you stare at it, the dizzier you feel. Number 8, Pilon del Diablo, Ecuador. There are stairs that are scary because of their height, but this one is scary because nature doesn't let you stop. In Ecuador, near the town of Baños de Agua Santa, you can find the Pilon del Diablo, also known as the Devil's Cauldron. This is one of the most famous waterfalls in the country, and as you get closer, you can already hear it. You can't see it yet, but you can already hear the sound of the water falling. It's loud, roaring, and the surroundings almost tremble. According to local tourism information, the water from the Pastaza River falls into a narrow gorge before crashing below and creating a thick cloud of spray and foam. And right on the edge of that cliff, there's a path going down. It's not just a simple staircase, but a maze of stairs, viewing decks, tunnels, and footbridges clinging to the rock. As you go down, you get closer and closer to the waterfall. The sound gets louder, the air gets heavier because of the water, and every step gets more slippery. Some parts are concrete, some are steel. There are sections that seem to be carved right into the rock, and in other parts you even pass through a narrow tunnel behind the actual falling water. It's like you're inside a cave. While there's a white wall of water falling in front of you, you can hardly hear anything except the roar. You can hardly see anything except the spray. This is the reason why the place is unforgettable. You don't just look at it. You actually go right into the middle of it. You can feel the force of the water and wind around you as you go down. But that's also the reason why it's dangerous. Every railing is covered with moisture and drops of water. Every rock is slippery, and every step requires extreme caution. At the very bottom of the viewing area, the Pilon del Diablo will appear right in front of you, a rushing wall of water that continuously crashes onto the rocks below. It's beautiful, but it's so powerful that you can feel the vibration in your chest. And when you're done going down, there's something even harder: the climb back up, wet shoes, tired legs, and stairs that seem to get longer the higher you go. On this list, it's not the tallest, it's not the most exposed either, but it might be the slipperiest, and sometimes that's the scarier thing. Number 7, Skellig, Ireland. Not all scary stairs are on mountains. Some are in the middle of the sea. A few miles off the southwest coast of Ireland, there's a small but steep island that rises from the Atlantic Ocean. This is Skellig. From a distance, it just looks like a huge piece of rock being battered by waves. But at its peak, there are traces of life that are over 1,000 years old. According to UNESCO, it became home to monks around the 6th century. This is where they lived, far from the mainland, far from people, surrounded by sea and wind. But to get there, you first have to climb more than 600 stone steps. And this isn't a modern staircase. There are no railings, no smooth finish, no safety barriers. It's all ancient stones stacked on the side of the island, hand-cut, uneven, and exposed to rain, wind, and sea salt for over 1,400 years. Before you even reach the stairs, you have to take a boat ride from the mainland. And that's not possible every day. It often depends on the weather. If the waves or wind are strong, the boat trip is canceled. But when the sea is calm and landing is allowed, that's when the climb begins. The path going up winds around, and as you go higher, the feeling of security slowly disappears. On one side, there's rock. On the other, it's a straight drop down to the Atlantic, hundreds of feet deep. And at the top of the island, the wind changes quickly. There are times when it suddenly blows hard, so visitors are advised to keep their bodies low while climbing. But even so, you can't help but look. From up there, you can see the waves crashing at the foot of the cliff. Around you, seabirds circle in the air as if they're completely used to the height. And at the very top, the monastery still stands. Stone huts that look like beehives. Low walls, a small oratory, and structures built by the hands of monks who chose to live in one of the most isolated places in Ireland. Quiet, windy, and almost surreal. In modern times, it became even more famous after being used as a filming location for Star Wars. But the story of this place is older than any movie, because before it became a tourist destination, it was already a place of solitude, faith, and survival. And until now, the same stairs are still there, the same rocks, the same cliffs, and the same feeling that one wrong step and you're in the sea. Number 6, Wat Phra, Thailand. In the middle of Krabi province in southern Thailand, there is a place known for 2 different worlds. Below, a quiet Buddhist temple surrounded by jungle. Above, a mountain of stairs that seems endless. According to tourism records in Thailand, you need to climb more than 1,200 steps to reach the summit of Wat Tham Sua, which is better known as the Tiger Cave Temple. This is not just a simple cultural site, it is a physical challenge combined with a spiritual journey. Even at the foot of the mountain, You can already feel the heat and humidity surrounding you. The air feels heavy, and you sweat easily even before you start. And in front of you is a straight staircase going up, attached to the limestone cliff. There's no gentle slope, no easy section, just a straight climb up. As you go higher, the surroundings gradually change. At the lower levels, all you see is jungle. There are monkeys hanging out by the side of the stairs, already used to people struggling to climb. For them, it's just like a game. For people, it's a different story. It hurts your legs and it's hard to breathe. With every step, you feel even more how much farther you still have to go. There are a few resting spots along the way, but they don't change how steep the path is. It's like you're just given a short break before being reminded again that everything is still uphill. As you climb, the view slowly opens up. The jungle canopy disappears. The horizon widens. You can see the limestone cliffs lined up like giant rocks in the distance. And as you get higher, you can feel the air getting cooler even though the sun is still hot. There are also parts where the path gets tighter and passes through narrower sections. That's where it becomes harder to keep your balance because of the angle of the stairs. And after hundreds of steps, you'll finally see the summit. A golden Buddha statue sits on a platform overlooking the entire landscape of Krabi. Mountains, sea, and jungle that look like a never-ending painting. It's quiet at the top. It's as if everything suddenly disappears. The noise from the climb is gone. But your body is a different story. Sweat, trembling, and exhaustion that don't go away easily. And as you gaze at the view, you realize that most people here are thinking the same thing. Was every step really worth it? And before you can fully rest, another challenge awaits you. The descent. Slower. More dangerous. And your knees feel every step back down to the ground. Number 5. Tianmen Mountain, China. At number 5, in China there is a mountain known not just for its height, but for a natural gate to the sky, Tianmen Mountain. According to the tourism information of the Zhangjiajie region, it reaches about 1,500 meters above sea level. And one of the most famous natural formations here is a huge hole in the rock called Tianmen Cave or Heaven's Gate, a massive arch that looks like the mountain has its own window to the sky. But before you can see it up close, you have to go through something. More than 900 steps, 999 steps. This is not a random number. In Chinese culture, the number 9 is a symbol of completeness and longevity. That's why 999 is considered the most auspicious number that can be associated with the concept of heaven. That's why the stairs leading to Heaven's Gate are not just an engineering choice. They're also a cultural statement. From the foot of the mountain, you can see the stairs directly. They go straight up. It's like a line reaching up to the clouds. There's no zigzag that's easy to climb. It's straight, non-stop. And as you go up, the feeling repeats over and over. According to local tourism descriptions, the combination of altitude, steepness, and the repetition of almost 1,000 steps makes this one of the most physically demanding stair climbs in the region. There's not much shade. In the heat of summer, the stones under your feet get hot. In the cold of winter, they become slippery, and it's harder to keep your footing. Each step has railings, but they're low and don't fully prevent exposure to the edge. As you get closer to the top, the view gradually changes. The ground disappears, the clouds widen, and suddenly, the natural arch itself opens up. It's like a stone doorway hanging on the mountain. When you reach Heaven's Gate, a different feeling welcomes you. In front of you, the view of the entire landscape of Zhangjiajie opens up beneath the clouds. And in that moment, you'll hear 2 different messages. Your body, especially your feet and legs, is extremely tired. It's still hard to breathe, but your mind knows that everything was worth it. And on the same mountain, there's another famous attraction. The glass skywalk and cableway system here are among the longest in the world, according to tourism records. But no matter what modern structures are built here, the real challenge remains the same, the 999 steps. Because of this, every step is not just about climbing, but also a part of reaching Heaven's Gate itself. Number 4, Sigiriya, Sri Lanka. In the middle of Sri Lanka, there is a grassy, gigantic rock mountain that suddenly rises from the flat plains. Sigiriya is like a natural tower that seems like it shouldn't be there. According to historical and archaeological records of Sri Lanka, this is a volcanic rock formation that rises about 660 feet above the surrounding plains. And it became the center of an ancient royal fortress in the 5th century AD under King Kashipa. But its most famous part is not the base, but the climb. There are more than 1,200 steps to the top, and it's not just a simple staircase. At the start, the path goes through the former royal gardens and ruins. These are signs that this was once a luxurious palace complex with water systems and landscape terraces. As you climb higher, the route gradually becomes steeper. Here you can also see the famous fresco paintings on the side of the rock, ancient artworks that are estimated to be over 1,500 years old. There are also parts of the mirror wall, a polished stone surface that, for many centuries, has been written on by visitors from long ago. The exposure increases even more as you get closer to the top. The drop on both sides becomes even deeper, and you can really feel how narrow the space is that people have passed through since long ago. Towards the final part, you'll pass through what's called the Lion's Gate. Before, there was a large lion carved into the stone that served as the entrance to the summit. But now, only its huge paws remain, which are even taller than a person. From here, the path becomes steeper and narrower as you go up to the very top. At the summit, you'll be greeted by the ruins of the former royal palace. The foundations, water reservoirs, and garden spaces show how advanced life was on top of this rock back then. According to history, King Kasyapa lived here for many years before he was overthrown by his brother. Eventually, the place was abandoned and reclaimed by the jungle. Today, it remains a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most dramatic examples of ancient engineering and displays of power in South Asia. And even after hundreds of years have passed, those steps remain the same, straight up. There's no easy way. It's as if it was intentionally made so that only a few could reach the top. Number 3, Jacob's Ladder, St. Helena. In the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean, there's a small island called St. Helena. It's one of the most isolated, inhabited islands in the world, and is also known as the place where Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled. In its capital, Jamestown, there's a staircase you'll immediately notice, Jacob's Ladder. According to local records, it stretches from the town proper up to the top of Ladder Hill, which is about 600 feet high from the bottom. Exactly 600 feet. And what's most unique about it is that it goes straight up. No curves, no zigzags, just a continuous line along the side of the hill. It's like a line climbing from the sea up to the sky. This was originally built in 1929 as an inclined railway to transport cargo between the town and the plateau above. When the railway was removed, it was replaced by stairs, and that's when it became one of the most brutal stair climbs in the region. The ascent is steep. It reaches about 40 degrees in some sections. That's why on some steps, the next one you'll climb is even higher than your knee. From below, you can clearly see the entire line of stairs clinging to the side of the mountain. It's like a scar on the landscape of Jamestown. For locals and visitors, it's a challenge. Some race against time, some set records, and many also stop halfway because of the difficulty of the climb. And as you get closer to the top, the view opens up even more. The whole of Jamestown is spread out in a narrow valley, surrounded by the vast Atlantic Ocean. Here, you can also feel just how isolated the island is. There's no mainland nearby, just ocean in every direction. But the final realization isn't just the view, but looking back at the path you've taken. A straight line of almost 700 steps from the sea to the top. And that's where you'll feel 3 things at once: tiredness, pride, and the certainty that you still have to make the trip back down. Number 2, Florley Stairs, Norway. On the eastern shore of Lyse Fjord in Norway, there's a place known for its towering cliffs, deep fjord, and dramatic landscape that looks like it's from another world. This is also where you'll find the Florley Stairs, considered the longest wooden stairway in the world. According to local records, it has approximately 4,444 steps that ascend from sea level at the edge of the fjord up to a mountain plateau that's about 2,400 feet above sea level. This isn't just a simple hiking trail. It was originally built alongside a hydroelectric system, where the stairs followed the route of the old penstock pipe that used to carry water down for power generation. It was used before for maintenance access by workers, before it became a public hiking route. And even though it's free to climb now, that doesn't mean it's easy. The climb is straight up. There are no flat sections, no break in the slope. A continuous series of wooden steps attached to a steel frame, climbing up the side of the mountain at a constant incline. The difference between the Florley stairs and the other stairs on this list is not just the steepness, but also the length. 4,444 steps, even longer than the combined stair counts of the Empire State Building and the Eiffel Tower, based on public climbing references. As you climb, the exhaustion keeps coming and doesn't let up. And when you reach the top, the world suddenly changes. A vast plateau greets you, with lakes, moss-covered rocks, and the quiet Norwegian wilderness stretching all the way to the horizon. Silent, vast, it feels endless. But the final realization isn't just the view, but the fact that the stairs you climbed have another stretch just as long going down. And you have to face it again on the way back. Number 1, Mount Niesen, Switzerland. In the Bernese Oberland region of Switzerland, there's a mountain that's not only famous for its view, but also for a very long staircase that reaches up into the clouds, Mount Niesen. According to Swiss records, it reaches approximately 7,700 feet above sea level. And only once a year, during an organized mountain race, a unique staircase with nearly 12,700 steps is opened. This is not an ordinary hiking trail. The staircase follows the route of the Niesen-Bonn funicular railway, an old infrastructure used for maintenance access to the rails. So its design is not for tourists, but for workers. It's steep, continuous, and without rest. For almost the entire year, it's not accessible to the public. It can only be climbed one day each year as part of an organized race. On the day of the event, hundreds of runners try to climb from the base to the summit, using only the stairs that go straight up the side of the mountain. There are no flat sections, no easing slope, just step after step, reaching over 11,000 steps. As you climb, you feel the weight of the altitude and the constant incline. It feels like the pattern of steps never ends. It's the same, repetitive, and it pulls your body down even though you're going up. According to race records, there are elite runners who finish this in about an hour, a performance considered extreme even in world-class endurance events. But outside of race day, this isn't an open hiking route because the stairs are a maintenance structure, not a tourist trail. That's why simply climbing without a support system is considered dangerous and not recommended. For most visitors, the safer option is the funicular railway that goes up to the summit in about 30 minutes. And at the top, you'll be greeted by the wide view of the Bernese Alps, including Lake Thun and the distant mountain ranges layered on the horizon. From there, you can also see the stairs on the side of the mountain, a continuous line of more than 11,000 steps going down to the valley. And that's where it becomes clear why it's on the list. Not because it's the most exposed, nor because it's the most dangerous, but because of the simple question it poses to anyone looking up from below. Can you climb almost 11,000 steps one by one all the way to the sky?